Greetings and welcome in to Tinasha Grace Show here on 106 Live Radio. This is the place where excitement meets diversity 24/7. We are truly blessed to be found here on the epic marriage celebration. It's where we get to showcase what God has been doing for marriages, even in the lives of individuals, husbands, wives, male, female, whatever you find yourself doing today. We want you to stop and listen. Take time to check out these epic love stories. It's one of those things that we believe the Lord has called us to do, showcase the testimonies and the power of God. In the midst of us doing life, we can get lost and sometimes not remember where we should be, what we should be doing. But indeed, we have to remember the places that God has taken us from and the triumph that He brought us to. So many people enjoy a beginning phase, then we get into relationship and we get into a space whereby we forget the beginning phase, but the furnaces of affliction may come, and then we want to be able to also talk about how God has truly taken us from the furnace of affliction and into a place of triumph. And that's what most of us really get to enjoy. But we got to talk about the test to be able to talk about the testimony. We got to talk about the formative years to be able to celebrate the life of an individual. And I believe even as we are couples and working together on a mission, on a mandate, we need to know what that story is. Who's writing our story? Of course, God Himself is using His finger to write our story, and we get to tell it. We do have an epic testimony. We encourage you and others to share your story with us. I have the pleasure of hanging out with my sweetheart, my partner, my lover, my friend, Mr. Jason Gray. Come on in, honey. Let's talk about this epic marriage celebration.
And thank you so much for that warm welcome. And yeah, we are ready to just tell our story, tell what we've done and some of the things that we've done to really anchor ourselves. So where do we want to start tonight?
Let's start with the beginning. Let's start with the beginning years. How did we meet?
The genesis of our relationship. Well, Tinasha and I met September 22nd of 2003, and we celebrated 20 years of our friendship, and we met in New York at my mom and dad's apartment back on that day. Prior to that, my mom and my aunt had told me about Tinasha. So when I met Tinasha, it was not a complete surprise to me as far as who she was. It was just that when I came up to New York during that season, I wasn't expecting to meet anybody because my aunt decided that it's probably not a good idea for us to meet. And I didn't pursue it, and I didn't think nothing of it until that one glorious day when I went downtown to do a little shopping, get out of the house. I came back home as in my parents' apartment, and maybe about a half hour later, there was a strange knock that was on the door. And of course, I'm saying to myself and to my mom and dad, are you guys expecting anybody here? And so I asked, like you would normally do when someone knocks on the door, who is it? And I heard a voice say Tinasha. So I opened the door, and that's when I first laid eyes on her, is when the door was open, and then I allowed her to come in. And I said hello to her. And I would imagine she probably, from what she's heard about me at the time, put two and two together, said that must be Suzanne's nephew. Mm-hmm. So immediately I went to my mom and I had asked her, is this the person that you were talking about? And my mom kind of whispered and said, yes. So I said to her, she's very nice looking. She's nice. And that's where it all started. Tinasha came over. She had to drop off something for my aunt. And Tinasha, being the person that she is, she rolled her sleeves up and got involved in doing a few things around the apartment for my mom and my dad. And I capitalized on that moment to try to have a conversation with her. Not much, but really when she was ready to leave, I offered my services of walking her to the bus stop because I, used that, I can protect you hard, I pulled out because it's the area is not the best, but then, of course I haven't been there in 20 years. So how would I know that? So, but that's where it started. That was the crux of where we met. We met in the most beautiful way, opening up the door. She walked into my life. And she could probably attest to that, I opened the door and she walked in.
Yes. I love it. I love it.
Calling all couples, Source of Wellness presents the 3rd annual Epic Marriage Conference for couples only, to be held at the Radisson Grenada Beach Resort in sunny Grenada on Saturday, March 23rd through Sunday, March 24th. At this year's Reexamination for Love-themed event, get ready to hear true epic love stories, panel discussions, esteemed guest speakers, vow renewals, dancing, and much more. You will join Drs. Jason and Tinasha Gray in collaboration with Pastors Paul and Dorret Alexander, Reverend Joachim and Lindarine Phillip, Pastors Jim and Ruthlyn Andrew, Michael and Hilary Alexander, Wayne and Cheryl Mitchell of Youth with a Mission Grenada, Alvin and Elizabeth Forsyth, along with Drs. Curtis and Bobbie Minter. Get your tickets at the Grenadian Optical, located at Melville Street and Spiceland Mall, Grand Anse, for only $400 EC per couple. Your weekend will include all sessions, conference materials, and lunch for 2. For more information, contact our local organizers at 459-8567 or 449-5872. We can also be emailed at info@sourceofwellness.org. Visit our website at sourceofwellness.org.